Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, and in this video we're breaking down Daredevil Born Again.
It's been some time, hasn't it?
The brand new trailer has just dropped, officially, though my uncle Kevin had it last week on his iPhone 20. This does slightly differ from the one shown at the event, so to be thorough, we're giving you 2 for 1. Both trailers will be broken down here and we'll be covering everything you need to know. Now the title Born Again of course has a number of things attached to it. Not only is this the rebirth on Disney+, but it's also a nod to Frank Miller's classic. That saw the Kingpin disassembling Matt Murdock's life after learning he was the devil of Hell's Kitchen. Now that's something they've already explored in Daredevil Season 3. This included the Catholic themes, teasing his parentage, and Murdock of course taking Kingpin down. So instead, though this is the name, I actually think it's gonna be more in line with this book. That is Devil's Reign, which centers around Kingpin becoming mayor, and the aftermath of that. That's an idea he was inspired with at the end of Echo, and thus that's the way things seem like they're gonna go. Now that's the basic backdrop of the show, with us knowing we're getting 9 episodes in March. Originally it was gonna be an 18 episode order, but things have drastically changed. I'm sure you guys already know because you're smart, but yeah, just in case you don't, this series has gone through a major rehaul. Originally we had Foggy and Karen being dead, Vanessa was played by a different actress, and early rumblings were that it was going to be a big drop in quality when compared to the Netflix show. I wonder why. Just kill all the main characters, recast them if they're not dead, and yeah, it's going to be great success. Good idea, Disney. However though, Marvel aren't blind to what's going on, and they went back to the drawing board and made things more in line with the series that preceded it. Terrible pun there as well, and I apologize, but thank God they did that. This video is sponsored by Mando. Last month I picked up some amazing Mando body products in their starter pack, and they've been completely game-changing. Mando was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. Unlike certain traditional deodorants that try and mask odor with a fragrance, Mando is formulated and powered by mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts. It's more like a pre-odorant. Mando is a high-performance whole-body deodorant that you can apply everywhere, such as pits, packages, and feet. Mando reduces odor all day and continues controlling BO for 72 hours. Being cooped up in my room all day can leave me feeling a bit bleh, but Mando's really helped me to feel refreshed throughout the day. It just gives my skin that tingling fresh feeling, and it's also perfect after a workout. You can choose from 4 different scents that are all unique. There's Bourbon Leather, Clover Woods, Mount Fuji, and Pro Sport. We even have Unscented. I've been training for a half marathon, so I'm running 2 hours a day, and it can leave me feeling like I stink worse than my channel does. However, that odor control really helps me to not worry that I'm smelling bad. What I'm smelling like is the fresh spring top of Mount Fuji due to the smooth, solid Mount Fuji deodorant. I know the deodorant also comes as either a spray or a cream tube, so it's convenient on what you want to use it for. It also doesn't stain your clothes, and Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, or spray deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice. This can be something like the mini body wash or the deodorant wipes. It also has free shipping. On top of that, I have a discount code to get you hooked on my favorite smelling whole body deodorants on the market. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. This equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Just go to the description and use the code HSpoilers at the link below. Get that deal by going to the link in the description and using the code HSpoilers to get a deal that equates to over 40% off. Huge thank you again to Mando for sponsoring the video. Now let's get into the rest of the breakdown. Now that takes us to the teaser itself, where we get the instant feeling we're getting the gritty side of New York due to a shot of the subway. Gone are the skyscraper and glitz of glamour that we're used to seeing in things like Age of Ultron. Even street level stuff like Spider-Man, it feels like it's being kidified when you have people leaning out of windows shouting about how he's stealing someone's car. You can tell they really focused on making this right from that opening shot, and the teaser doesn't hold back on how much it taps into the adult side. It's been confirmed that Daredevil will even drop the F-bomb, so thank they're gonna do it right. Now arriving at what I believe is either a prison or police station, we see Matt Murdock between a locked door and some reinforced glass. To a shot of New York at night, we see a prisoner telling him someone has to protect the streets. Played by Kamar de los Reyes, he sadly passed away in December last year. Kamar had a battle with cancer, and yeah, it's crazy to me these actors can power through the pain and still work in shows like this. We of course had something similar happening with Chadwick Boseman, and this Marvel project's definitely gonna act as an honor to Reyes. Now in the show, we know he's going to be playing the White Tiger and get moments of him in his costume. This is all white with a medallion around his neck. We see him stopping some shenanigans on the subway, which ties in with that opening shot. Later on, we see him push someone onto a track and they get a train ran on them like Ryan Airy's mum. I'm guessing that after this, he saw being a hero as a calling, and that's why he stepped up to the mark. However, this could also be why he's in jail, and possibly tying into what they did in the comics. Born in Puerto Rico, Tiger gained superhuman abilities through a Jade Tiger amulet. Fighting criminal cartels, he ended up teaming up with Daredevil at several points. However, the character had his identity exposed, which came due to the villain Lightmaster. After that, he ended up retiring, but the duty of the amulets just called him back. The character was then put on trial for murder, with Murdoch acting as his lawyer. Convicted and jailed, he ended up trying to escape and was sadly killed during this. So I feel like that's a storyline they'll be adopting here, because certain elements are all falling into place. Matt's visiting him, his face is unmasked, and at the moment he's of course stuck in a prison. However, it may be completely different because there's like 4 different white tigers. The amulet is like a mantle that gives the wearer the power of the tiger. So potentially this may be someone else, but it also leaves another actor to take it on during season 2. Or is it season 5? Either way, due to Reyes' passing, they may have that as a way to continue the legacy. We do see him with his mask later on, so I'm expecting to see a big action scene with him. Now, I also feel there's some symbolism laced in the shot here. Both the characters work as vigilantes, but only one of them's behind bars. During the talk, Matt's face is even reflected in the glass, highlighting the pair on mirrors of each other. However, the reflection isn't fully aligned, so we get the feeling that something's slightly off. Matt is out free in the world while he's behind bars though, and it works as such good visual storytelling. Now there's also some moments where we see knives and guns being spun by a costume character that looks slightly darker. I don't actually think this is the White Tiger, and instead I think it's someone else. We know that Bullseye's returning for the show and that Punisher's also going to be there too. So I feel like that could be the case, and we might have a vigilante war breaking out in New York. We even have a bit where someone in a red mask puts a shotgun to Matt's head and the guy doesn't flinch. Cool as a cucumber. However, it could show there's lots of people in masks running the streets and causing havoc in NY. Later on we see someone wearing a yellow balaclava at the same place, so it does appear that this is a gang. Now that's where Kingpin comes in. In Devil's Reign, Kingpin goes against the heroes of New York with him using his full political power to beat down his enemies. I think if we get to the point where there's constant vigilantes, you can see why people would turn to him. If he can promise law and order and stop these criminals running amok, then that's gonna be a powerful platform. We see how the character's presence is felt throughout the city as well as we cut to some graffiti. This shows Kingpin with an emphasis on the king. A crown's above his head in the image, which reminds me a lot of the image of Notorious B.I.G. That was also used heavily in Luke Cage, and it could highlight a number of things. Biggie was of course from Brooklyn, and we did have a shot of the Brooklyn Bridge in the opening. In the image we also have his white and black suit, which the character's worn throughout the series. The black was when he was working in the shadows and would have people killed if they ever said his name. The white was when he came into the light, so we have this deeper symbolism going on. The white is also the one wearing the crown, and that's the suit he most commonly wears in the comic books. As Tiger says, people need a hero, and they may look to Fisk believing that he's that. Obviously, what people really need is Matt though, and this will be about him stepping up. Now we then get a shot of Matt listening to the sounds of the city. He sees birds, artwork, people hitting the thumbs up, and yeah, a really great way to showcase some of Matt's powers. Amongst this, we also see the muse who ties in with the artwork. Later on, we get shots of his costume with the mask looking just like the comics. Guy is scary as hell, and basically the Nightmare Timeline version of Banksy. A deranged artist, this is likely who did the Kingpin painting. Again, going back to that crown, we can also see it in the flashes here. This seems like it's playing off the work by Jean-Michel Basquiat and was likely done by the Muse. The crown appears in a lot of Basquiat's work, and it normally highlights a struggle for power. Muse was a big character during Fisk's run for mayor, and he could highlight the corruption within him. This could potentially be seen in the painting of Fisk, in which he drew him as a two-faced figure. There's both the light and the dark, with the fire burning the city at the bottom. This city is also seen in the logo for the show, with the two appearing along the bottom. Muse also paints in blood, which he gets by kidnapping and killing. Going back to Tiger's talk in the prison, he mentioned that people were going missing. However, he said that no one seems to care, which could highlight what kind of class they are. The police and citizens wouldn't really care about the homeless being kidnapped, and this would allow him to kill them en masse. We see Muse a lot later on in the teaser, with Matt fighting him at his base. This is underground and lined with artwork, so it does seem like it's tying into this. Now right after the painting, we also see a man with a beard and long hair against some bars. This coming in between cuts like this could potentially highlight this is one of the homeless people Muse may have captured. He could have then killed them and used their blood to make his art. We do see a drop of blood in the teaser, and it seems like it's all connected. Now if you want to rock some of our artwork, then definitely check out our merch store right below the video. This includes our It's All Connected t-shirt. We've just launched a James Bond inspired one, and also have our Alien Romulus chest burster on there as well. There's also our pick up a penguin shirt there too, and yeah, lots of stuff on the store that helps videos like this get made. So thanks if you bought one. Anyway, from here we go to the Marvel Television logo, which debuted for Agatha. I actually really love this kind of old tube TV style static thing, and yeah, it instantly lets you know it's the part of their TV lineup. Matt then talks about how New York's always been this way, and we see the other side of the city. Getting a shot of New York in the daylight, this highlights the themes of the show. That is, of course, duality, which can be seen in a lot of the characters. We have the Tiger and his identity, Matt and Daredevil, the Kingpin artwork, and Muse in his alter ego. Even the city is drastically different depending on whether it's day or night. Two things being there is laced throughout the series, which we also see with Foggy and Karen. These guys are back, and I'm so glad they didn't go with the plan to kill them off. Matt says the system is against you, and we get a flash of Tiger against some bars. So my guess is he's gonna be his defense attorney early on, and then we'll see how it goes from there. Now we also get a top-down shot of a big bald man in a suit with Matt walking beside him. This could actually potentially be Matt representing Kingpin. In Devil's Reign, they sort of retconned the stuff with Born Again, and had it so he didn't remember Daredevil was Matt. However, he actually discovered evidence that at some point he did know, and realized that he had gaps in his memory. So potentially we might have a situation like that, but it is a bit of a stretch. Later on we see them meeting at a diner, and Fisk clearly knows about Matt's darker side. He's also giving him a warning, so stuff's a bit frosty. I just feel like this top-down shot is him, and it could highlight that at this point Fisk's the mayor. Potentially he needs Murdoch on a case, or something where he's tied in with the DA. Potentially he could be extending him an olive branch and trying to mend his ways from the past. If you've seen Echo, then you'll know she did something in his mind that might have altered who he is. So it's possible they could be making them allies at first, though I'm guessing the power's always going to corrupt him. Kingpin does seem to literally be watching over it all though, as we see him standing on a building. Yeah, he's looking over the city, while Matt says it's often David versus Goliath. That's subtext, kids. Good amongst this are also clips of Kamala Khan's father, who we know is going to be in the series. I do feel like Kamala herself will appear as well, as it kind of sets the groundwork for all these heroes in the city. Later on we get shots of literal daylight robbery with those people in balaclavas. It seems like this is when her dad's held up at gunpoint, so he might meet Matt at this point. Matt later shows up at his house and he beats someone up, so potentially it goes beyond this, and someone might be trying to threaten him as a witness. Or he might have hired Matt for all them allegations going on about him. Come on Marvel mate, yeah? You made that one too easy. Now we then get what's one of the big money shots in the teaser. John Bernathal's Punisher is back, and if you manage to see the video my Uncle Kevin got, then you'll know this always got a big reaction from the crowds. Brandishing a hatchet and pushing Matt up to the lockers, it's that classic kind of bully imagery with him beating on the nerd. He's got long hair and a beard as well, so I'm guessing that he's been out of the game for a while. However, from the leaked onset images, we know the guy's gonna get a trim up. That's when he's back in the Punisher costume, whereas here he's sort of been out of it. I feel like that might be the case with Matt as well, and it'll be about these heroes coming together. Everyone needs to stand up to the big guy, and it's all tying into that David versus Goliath story. Although Kingpin helped Punisher escape, Frank did promise to kill him if he saw him again, so no idea how that's going to play into it, but it is going to be interesting. Hope he doesn't have some terrible jokes yet, because then he'd be the Punisher. There has been a ton of times where the characters have faced off against each other though, with one of my favourite covers being Punisher Max 3. We also had Kingpin declaring war during his mayoral run, with him running a big poster that says NYC says no to the Punisher, with his symbol crossed out on it. So there's plenty of things here they can pull from, and I'm guessing they'll both be big characters in the show. Now to shake things up even further, we have the return of Bullseye. Cutting to Poindexter at prison, it's great seeing him back. At the end of season 3 his return was teased, but they've obviously got him on lockdown. A detail I love here though is that both his arms are restrained. Guy can turn absolutely anything into a deadly weapon, and yeah, just one of the extremes they have to take him to. He could press to subscribe without even being told to. Now he also has something around his waist too. I do wonder if this ties in with the surgery he received at the end of season 3. Guy could now be recovering from that, and potentially that's what it's for. He also likely now has adamantium in him, with him getting those bone enhancements in the comics. Later on, when Fisk says let chaos reign, we can also see a shadowy figure in the street. I'm guessing that Poindexter gets let out and he's used as a way to push the anti-vigilante ideals. That word reign also of course ties in with Devil's Reign, so it's a nice way to build off that. Now similar to him walking towards us, we then cut to Matt doing the same thing. While everyone's celebrating, he's looking a bit sort of brooding, which could highlight what's just happened. In the background, everyone's waving the Star Spangled Banner, so I'm guessing that this is after Fisk's big win. Matt knows that things are going to change in the city, and it's from here he goes to meet Kingpin. Getting a lot of Invincible trailer vibes, and yeah, great little scene. Kingpin can also be seen smashing someone's head like the like button, and it instantly lets us know the tone. This is something he was known for on Netflix, and they made sure to focus on it for the Echo trailer. So I feel like it's highlighting we're getting that violence and that they aren't toning it down. They were going to have Frank bouncy castle at one point and make him the Punisher and have him pop party balloons. Anyway, from that point we get one of the big money shots and something that I'm no doubt going to spend hundreds of pounds on buying. Here we have the brand new Daredevil helmet set from the Marvel Legends series. You've got all the colours like his classic red, the silver, yellow one from the comics in She-Hulk, black, and so on. The latter one comes from the Shadowlands storyline, with the silver one appearing like his armored variant. I hope we get to see all these costumes in the series, and maybe my guy got several knocked up after the one from Luke Jacobson and She-Hulk. To the far right is his red one, which he'll be predominantly wearing in the series. This is the one shown in the teasers and first looks, with it having impressions on it. Reminds me a lot of Spider-Man's or even Batman's in the Arkham games, where the padding had these little patterns on it. The red eyes really make all the suits stand out as well, and it of course reflects the red of his glasses. Anyway, from here we cut to the diner and get some shots of Matt at a ball. This has him dancing with his new love interest while Fisk is back with Vanessa. There are leaks saying that the former is Heather Glenn, who's a 70s and 80s love interest of Matt. The character's always been one of the elite, which would make sense with the context of this ball. This would mean that Fisk also probably moves in the same circles as her, so it could add an extra dynamic to the show. It also juxtaposes the homeless people that I feel like Muse will be targeting. That kinda leads us into what's going on with Muse, who takes up most of the end of the teaser. I feel like taking him down is going to be a common goal because he's someone who's both an enemy of Fisk and Matt. Muse is ruining Fisk's campaign because he's exposing him as being corrupt. On the flip side of it, if he's killing people for his art, then it makes sense why Matt would want to take him out of the picture. Not a pun, I swear it wasn't a pun. So potentially that's why this meeting's going down. The pair are trying to work together to take a dangerous killer off the streets. It just so happens it'll benefit Fisk and ruin one of his most vocal haters. Here you might also notice he's wearing a dark suit with an American flag badge. This is likely after he's mayor, with it tying into those flags from before. Captain Obvious there, and I know politicians do that a lot. Now we also have him wearing a suit for Vanessa, highlighting how in his private life he is still the Kingpin. That theme of duality comes full circle at the end here as well, as we have two action scenes with Matt. In one he's fighting the Muse in his costume, and in the other he's in Kamala's dad's apartment. In both he's beating someone up, but appearing in two different ways. I feel like Matt's really trying to operate in the light, but the darkness keeps pulling him back. He's gonna have to learn to embrace both sides though, and become Daredevil Born Again. Now we close out with Yusuf Khan asking what kind of lawyer he is, and he says he's a really good one. Kinda plays off the scene in No Way Home, and yeah, nice way to tie these two scenes together. Either way, that wraps up the trailer, and I'm so glad it's finally online. I've wanted to talk about this for a while, but them copyright strikes, they're no joke. The series looks great though, and I'm glad Marvel are taking it seriously. I don't know how much money they spent to start things over again, but at least it shows they're putting in the time. That fills me with a lot more confidence, cause these Disney Plus shows have been very hit and miss. This is obviously gonna get compared to the Netflix stuff, which I still think some of the best superhero stuff of all time. It's the best superhero stuff of all time, put that on the poster. It is nice though that they're putting in the care here, and this first look has made it at least seem like it's on the right track. If you think it's not, then you know how to tell me, and I'd of course love to hear whether you agree or disagree. I also can't believe real life did the crooked mayor of New York storyline before Marvel did. Also, yeah, we'll not get political, but we're doing a big push for our Instagram, which is where we're going to be posting all our big updates for the channel. That will have all our main announcements, so if you want to stay up to date with the channel, then please follow at Heavy Spoilers. Also hit the thumbs up on the video, and if you want to support the channel as a member of the Spoiler Society, then please click the join button. For just 99 cents a month, you'll get early access to videos, and it goes a long way towards helping us out. Now if you want something else to watch, we've got a breakdown on screen right now. With that out of the way, huge thank you for sitting through this video. I've been your host Paul, you've been the best, and I'll see you next time. You take care, peace.